Welcome back to the deep dive. We're continuing our different perspectives thing, exploring different ways to solve problems or approach challenges. Today, we're going to look at how small businesses can use really cutting-edge tech. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's wild how these tools are becoming so accessible. We're talking about using AI to get ahead, even if you don't have tons of money or a big tech team.
Exactly. So we're going to be talking about Bhaskar Pandey.
Oh yeah, he's doing some really cool things.
He wrote this great article on LinkedIn about building intelligent web applications. And get this, he uses tools that you probably already have.
It's a really clever approach, very practical. He's all about combining Google Sheets, Apps Script, and some AI integration, which unlocks a ton of potential.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little. Now, we all know automation can be super helpful, but Pandy argues that traditional automation, well, it kind of has some limitations.
Yeah, it can only react. It can't really predict.
Right.
It's like those stock alerts you get when you've already run out of something. So frustrating.
The worst.
Yeah, wouldn't it be amazing if your system could, tell you that you're going to run out of something like a week in advance? AI can actually do that.
It's like having a crystal ball for your business.
Right.
I'm already interested. So how does he actually make this magic happen, Pandy?
He uses a really simple tech stack. This is what makes it great for small businesses. He focuses on Google Sheets, Apps Script, and AI integration.
Okay, I get Google Sheets, but how do the other pieces fit in? I need the breakdown.
So think of Google Sheets as your main data hub. It has all your important business info there.
Sure.
Then Apps Script is like the engine. It automates tasks and makes the connections. And finally, you use pre-built AI models to make it all actually smart.
So we're not building these complex AI systems from scratch.
No, not at all. The great thing about Pandy's approach is that you use these pre-trained models. They've
Right.
already been trained on massive amounts of data, and you can tweak them to fit your needs.
So no learning crazy complex algorithms. That's a relief. Okay, so let's say I want to do this whole AI-powered thing. What's the first step?
Well, Pandy is really big on good data. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. He gives an example, Google Sheet structure. You've got your item ID, your stock quantity, your sales data, and your historical sales trends. It's all about starting with good, organized data.
Makes sense. So the AI needs to be fed good information. But in the real world, data can be messy. How do we make sure it's all clean?
Well, Pandy's got you covered there too. He even includes a piece of JavaScript code for automated data cleaning. This is where AppScript really shines. It keeps your data accurate and ready for analysis.
Okay, let's dive into this code. I'm ready to get technical. What does the first line look like?
All right, so it starts with function clean data. This sets up a function in AppScript called clean data, and that's going to be the brains of our data cleaning operation.
So we're getting ready to make the data sparkle. I like it. What's next?
Next is var sheet, spreadsheet app, .get active spreadsheet, .get sheet by name inventory. So this tells the script which Google Sheet to use, and specifically which sheet in that spreadsheet to work with.
Okay.
He's assuming your inventory data is on a sheet named inventory.
Right.
You can, of course, change that to whatever your sheet is called.
It's like we're giving the script a map to our data. I'm following. What happens next?
Next up, we've got to grab all that data from the sheet, right?
Yep.
That's what this does. var data sheet.getDataRange.get values. This takes all the data from the sheet you specified, and it puts it into a variable called data.
So the script now has all our inventory data. Now we're ready to start cleaning.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is where it gets fun. We're going to use a loop to go through each row of data and look for any errors. Here's what that loop looks like. For var I1's I data.length, I++.
Okay.
This tells the script to start at the second row. The first row usually has your headers,
Yeah.
and then it keeps going until it hits the end of the data.
So it's like a little detective examining every piece of data.
Exactly. Now for each row, we're going to use an if statement to check for specific problems. This line, if data 0 is net and data 2, does that.
Whoa, hold on, let's slow down. What are we actually checking for here?
Okay, so the first part, data 0, is checking if the item ID is missing. Remember, each row is an item, right?
Yeah.
And the first column should be the item ID. If that's missing, we've got an issue.
Makes sense. We need to be able to identify each item. What about the second part?
Okay, the second part is NAND data 2 checks if the stock quantity is a valid number. I's NAND stands for is not a number. So if what's in the stock quantity column isn't a number, this will flag it.
So missing IDs and weird numbers. Got it. What happens if the script finds an error? What does it do?
Then it's cleaning time. If there's an error, the script runs this line, sheet.delete row, I+1.
Okay.
This basically tells it to delete the entire row where the problem is. It's removing the bad data.
Wow, so the script is pretty strict. But I guess that's what we want, right?
Right, we only want clean data going into our AI models. And once the loop has checked every single row, this last line lets us know everything is good. Logger.log. Data cleaned successfully.
It's a little victory message. So, a few lines of code, and we have a powerful tool for keeping our data clean. Wow. I'm starting to see the potential here.
It's amazing what you can do with these simple tools. You don't have to be a coding whiz to use them. Now, with our data all squeaky clean, we're ready to train an AI to predict sales. This is where it gets really exciting. So we talked about getting that data all nice and clean before the break.
It's amazing how a little bit of code can do so much for keeping things tidy.
It really is. Now we can get to the really cool part. Training an AI to predict sales.
Yeah.
This is where Pandy's approach really stands out.
Okay, I'm ready for the AI to tell me the future of my business. So where do we even begin?
Pandy lays it all out, step by step. You start by exporting your nice clean data from Google Sheets into a format that the AI can use. Usually that's a simple CSV file.
So it's like taking all that sales history and giving it to the AI to learn from.
Exactly. Think of that CSV file like a report card for your business. It has all the details about past sales, stock levels, any promos you ran, all that stuff that might affect future sales.
That's the AI's textbook, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So to actually teach the AI how to make predictions based on this data, Pandy suggests using platforms like Google Cloud AI or even Python-based frameworks like TensorFlow or scikit-learn.
Python. That sounds a little scary. Do I need to be a coding expert to do this?
No, don't worry. Pandy provides lots of clear code examples and explanations to help you through it.
Okay.
You don't need to be a Python master to build a really powerful model.
That's reassuring. All right, let's take a look at the code. What's the first thing we do in this Python AI training thing?
First, you have to set up your Python environment with all the right tools. It's like getting all your ingredients together before you start cooking. The first few lines of code do just that. Here they are. Python. Import pandas as PD. From sklearn.model-selection, import train-to-split. From slurn.ensemble, import random forest regressor. Import joblib.
Okay, I'm seeing some new words here. What are these lines actually doing? Can you break it down for me?
Sure. These lines are basically importing special libraries that give us the tools we need to work with the data, build the AI model, and save it for later.
So like pandas is like our data chef's knife.
Yeah.
And train to split is the measuring cup.
Exactly. And random forest regressor is the actual recipe we're using to create our model. It's a powerful machine learning algorithm that's really good at handling complex relationships and data.
Sounds like we've got a fancy AI chef and a really complex recipe. So what's next?
Time to load up that historical sales data we carefully exported from Google Sheets.
Wow.
These lines take care of that. Python. Hashtag load and preprocess data. Data ctd.readcsv. Historical sales data.csv. X.data weekofear, promo flag, stock level, Y data sales quantity, X-train, X-test, at-train, X-test train to split, XY, test size 0.2, random state 42.
Okay, I see we're reading in that CSV file we made earlier. But what are X and Y? They sound kind of mysterious.
Those are the core of our predictive model. X represents all the things that we think affect sales. In this case, Pandy's using weekofear, promo flag, and stock level.
Okay.
Those are the variables we'll use to try and predict future sales.
So we're telling the AI, hey, pay attention to these things, they're important.
Exactly. And Y represents the actual sales numbers from our history. This is what we want our model to predict accurately.
It's like giving the AI practice problems before the real test with the answers.
Haha, that's a good way to put it. The line with train to split is splitting our data into two groups, a training set and a testing set.
Okay.
So we can train the model on one set and then see how well it does on a different set it's never seen before.
It's like a mock exam to make sure the AI is actually learning. So what's next?
Now it's time for the main event, training the model. This is the code that makes it happen, Python. Hashtag trainModel.model, random forest regressor, nestimators innovator, random state 42, model.fit, xtrain, iTrain.
Ooh, the exciting part.
Where
What are these lines actually doing? Is this where the AI gets its powers?
you could say that we're creating our random forest model and then feeding it all that training data.
Okay.
The line model.fit_xtrain, iTrain, is where the real learning happens. The model crunches the data, finding patterns and connections between those factors and the actual sales numbers.
So it's figuring out how those things influence sales. Pretty cool.
It's like the AI is taking a crash course in your business. It's learning how everything works. After the model is trained, we need to save it so we can use it later without having to retrain it every time. This line takes care of that. Python. Hashtag save the model.joblib.dump model, sales forecast model.pkl.
So we're saving all that hard work.
Yeah.
But this model is still in the Python world. How do we get it into Google Sheets and App Script so we can actually use it?
That's where cloud integration comes in. We can put this model on a platform like Google Cloud Run or create a simple API using something like Flask.
Sure.
This makes our model accessible through a URL so our app script can talk to it and get predictions whenever we need them.
So it's like giving the AI its own online office where we can send it information and get back predictions. I like it.
Precisely. And to do that, we'll use AppScript's URL app. This handy tool lets us send information to that cloud-hosted AI model and get those predictions back.
All right, so we've trained this awesome AI that can actually predict sales. It's amazing how we can go from a spreadsheet to like real business insight.
It's really cool how powerful these tools are becoming, But we're not done yet. We need to connect all this to our Google Sheets and Apps script setup.
Right, we need to make it useful. It's like we built this amazing AI brain, but now we need to let it talk to the rest of our system. So how do we do that?
This is where AppScript's URL app comes in. This lets us send stuff to our AI model. Remember, it's hanging out in the cloud now. And we can get those predictions back.
So URL app is like our messenger.
Exactly. Pandy has a good example of how to use it. Here's the app's script code, javascript.function, get predicted sales, itemid, week of year, promo flag, stock level. Markup URL, https.yourcloud model or payload, warpel of year, stock level, or options application, JSON, var response, fetch, IBFetch, URL options, var prediction, json.parse response.get content text, return prediction.sales forecast, predicted sales for the given item.
Okay, let's go through this. What's that first line doing?
So that line function get predicted sales, itemid, week of year, promo flag, stock level, is setting up a function called get predicted sales.
Yeah.
This is going to handle fetching those predictions from our AI model.
Okay.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, I see we're giving it some info. Itemid, week of year, promo flag, stock level. Why all those details? Those are the things our model needs to make a prediction. Remember how we trained it using week of year, promo flag, and stock level?
Yeah.
We have to give it those same things to get a prediction back.
Right, it needs the context. Got it. What about that next line?
That line, var op URL, is https.yourcloud-model-URL-predict, is defining the URL of where our AI model is living in the cloud. So AppScript knows where to send the request.
It's like the AI's address on the internet, huh?
Exactly. Then we have the payload variable.
Oh, what's that for?
The payload is where we put together all the info we want to send to the model. This is where those factors we talked about come in.
Right.
So these lines create the payload. JavaScript, var, payload, itemid, promo flag. So it's basically a little package with everything the AI needs to make a prediction for a specific item.
Yep, exactly. And then these next few lines set up how we're going to send that package, JavaScript var options, application JSON.
JSON stringify payload. So we're using the post method, kind of like filling out a form online, right? And what about that JSON stuff?
JSON is a standard way to share data between systems. It's like a language that both AppScript and our AI can understand.
We're translating.
Yep.
Cool. So then the line var response, URL fetchapp.fetch, GAPE URL options, is sending our request to the model's URL, right?
Right. The URL fetchapp.fetch is what does the sending. It sends it to the cloud and waits for the AI to respond.
It's like sending a message and waiting for the reply. And the model gets our request, does its thing, and then sends back a response. What happens to that response?
These last couple of lines handle the response javascript.var prediction, json.parse response.get content text.return prediction.sales forecast, predicted sales for the given item.
Okay, break that down for me.
So json.parse takes the response, which is also in JSON format, and turns it back into something our script can work with, like translating the AI's answer back to our language.
Yeah. Oh, I see. We're translating back and forth. And then that last line takes the actual sales prediction from the response and sends it back to our spreadsheet, right?
Exactly. So there you have it. We took this powerful AI model, put it up in the cloud, and hooked it right into our Google Sheets.
It's amazing what you can do with these tools. This could change how businesses operate.
For sure. It's really exciting to see how accessible this is becoming, even for smaller companies.
Totally.
Mm.
You don't need a huge tech team to make this happen, which is so cool. Pandy's article really shows how to break this down into steps anyone can follow. It's inspiring, you know?
It really is. The possibilities are huge. It's like, what can't you do with this?
I know, I'm already thinking about how I can use this myself.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember that this is just the start. There's so much more to explore in the world of AI.
Oh, absolutely. Things are changing all the time. New tools, new techniques. It's incredible. The best part is you don't need to be an expert in everything to benefit from it.
Well-
We can learn the basics, play around with these tools, and start using them in our businesses.
Exactly. It's all about being curious and open to the possibilities. We'll definitely include some resources in the show notes for anyone who wants to learn more.
Definitely. There are tons of great online courses, tutorials, you name it, and there are lots of communities where you can connect with other people who are excited about AI.
Yeah, the AI community is really amazing. So, to wrap things up, I challenge everyone listening, think about one part of your business that could really benefit from some smart automation.
Don't be scared of the technology. Candy shows us how to make it simple. It's not as hard as it seems. Just start experimenting, have some fun with it, and see what you can create.
Well said.
Mm.
You might just discover the next big thing. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI. It's been a blast.
Absolutely. Keep on exploring.